I was gonna rip his heart out. I'm the best ever. I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been. There's no one can stop me. Lynx is a conqueror. No, I'm Alexander. He's no Alexander. I'm the best ever. There's never been anybody as ruthless. I'm Sonny Liston. I'm Jack Dempsey. There's no one like me. I'm from Nairclaw. There's no one that can match me.
No affiliation, why they faking? This ain't for debating. We the real, they really imitation. I be contemplating why this ain't no like heavy rotation on radio stations. I just pray the Lord give me patience, cause I'm running through these rappers like my name Walter Payton. Shitting on these rappers, 9 to 5 is my occupation. Raw, you come in with your best troops, you best bring more. Already told you I got the juice like Orenthal. Already know what I'm about to do, bet your men fall. Everyone know that we got the truth, all your men false. So lost, overtaking our enemies. Moves calculated and orchestrated like symphonies. Smooth operated when bringing haters to misery. Top 5 list ain't shit unless you mention me. Yeah, that's why we don't associate. Fuck niggas make them more fuck niggas. Why they procreate, why they overhate, cause they time is short and a moment late. Let it culminate to they heart erase and palpitate. Cowards perpetrate like they little group is respectable. Talking intellectual, all of you homosexuals, faggots.
There's no one like me. I'm from Nairclaw. There's no one that can match me. My style is impetuous. My defense is impregnable. And I'm just ferocious. I want your heart. I want to eat his children.
I don't want to congregate. I don't want to deal with you. I don't want to fellowship. I ain't trying to build with you. Ain't the UPK, ain't the truth. Keep it real with you. Defenders of the faith, I got no problem bumping heads with you. All that bullshit, you could take it over there with you. Rather be a houseboy. Rather run with them field niggas. Show them to put in work. Move mountain, crush hills, nigga. Take a dead soul. Breathe life and make it live, nigga. No affiliation, so it's no one to compare with us. Took the Lord's laws and just added it with fear, nigga. Aim for the body, cause you know like killer head quicker. With these bars, I'm on my grizzly, so bear witness. You spit cold, I spit flu. Don't compare sickness. You floss diamond, I floss fringes. Don't compare dentists. UPK, we men the wall shit. We ain't Christian. Harm one of us, get pistol whipped like the gun got a belt with it. I'm bred different. The competition just a mill. I'm fed different. I stood front line on them fields. I bled different. I'd rather be a corpse than a coward. I'm led different. Shit, I'm led different. Come through like a juggernaut, so don't get in the way. And we take everything serious. We don't play. I wonder now what they gon' say. Shit, we make profits out of shooters like the NBA. You get slayed for switching sides, nigga. We ain't on the same page. Immaculate conception. Wow. These niggas bitch made. I'm sticking with the foundation where my bricks laid. You switch sides, I'd rather switch cage. You was never with us, nigga. Just know we on mission, nigga. Right hand hold the scriptures, nigga. Left hip hold the pistol, nigga. How you want it? You can get it spiritual or physics, nigga. Wrong ones to come against, so bring an army with you. No affiliation. When you see us, make the difference with us. No affiliation. When you see us, know we different, nigga. No affiliation, so no, you can't kick it with us. The wrong ones to come against, bring an army with you.
Looking at my people and the casualties, misunderstood for having some morality, but my people dead in spirituality. Lord knows, just a young Hebrew from Killer, California. Used to thug in the streets with no sense of order. Used to love to press the line, even test the water, and almost lost my life from slanging and hanging on that corner. I learned to cut the grass so I could see the snakes. I had to decipher between the real and fake. And nowadays all these niggas do is hate. Treat you like a bitch, sit back and try to manipulate. Yeah, that's why I got it on my own too. You see me rocking with the Hebrews. UPK is how we do. Stand for the Lord, the mother niggas is see-through.
Where the soldiers at? Where the soldiers at? Where the soldiers at?
Wake your game up, my nigga. Ain't no time for this shit. I know you sitting back thinking that life is a bitch. Yes, for the king, this for the king.
It's safe to say we curse today, trying to find another way, but all they do is take away. Trying to pray the fake away while trying to find a safer way. Eat so we can face to face. Please, Lord, save the day, cause everybody at my job always got some shit to say. You might think this shit is crazy, but I deal with this every day. Knowing that we paved the way, I had it up to here today. Listen to the shit to say, maybe wanna catch this case, or even if they face away. But I know what them scriptures say. We gon' wait on judgment day, thinking it ain't coming, thinking the Lord bluffing. Waiting on the day it's gonna be hotter than the oven, though they treat me like a slave. Wanna see me in the grave, hate to see a nigga brave, hate to see a nigga brave. It's hard at my job, but I'll be too wide, knowing that this cracker's gon' get it no problem. It's hard at my job, but I'll be too wide, knowing that this cracker's gon' get it no problem.
Wake your game up, my nigga. Ain't no time for this shit. I know you sitting back thinking that life is a bitch. Yes, my nigga, I understand. My nigga, I feel your pain. My nigga, we gotta change. This for the king, this for the king.
Why yourself? Aymayim, Wapanya, Akwadam, which means rise and face the east. We're going to read the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew, then in the English. Abanah, Shabbat Shemayim, Quadah, Hayah, Shemkah, Yahweh, Malak Waskah, the Ba'al, Retazayaka, Hayah, Aisha, Ba'aratazah, Kawah, Hayah, Bashemayim, Nathan Lanau, Lakam, Kol, Yawam, Wasalak now, Kabawak now, Kasalak now, Kabawaki now, Wala'ah, Yaina, Manasaya 1, Abal, Habashaya, Mayan, Ra, Kaya, Laka, Habalakwa, Waha'ala, Waha'ala, La'aywalamyum, Aman.
And in English, our Father,
Our Father,
which art in heaven.
Our Father,
Our Father,
art in heaven,
which art in heaven.
hallowed be thy name.
Hallowed be thy name.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy will be done.
Thy will be done
In earth,
in earth
as it is in heaven.
as it is in heaven.
Give us this day
Give us this day
our daily bread.
our daily bread,
Forgive us our debts,
and forgive us our debt,
as we forgive our debtors.
as we forgive our debtors.
And lead us not
And lead us not
into temptation,
into temptation,
but deliver us
but deliver us
from evil.
from evil.
For thine is the kingdom,
For thine is the kingdom,
and the power,
and the power,
and the glory,
and the glory,
ever.
forever.
So be it.
So be it. This is Hakak, the power. Yahweh.
Power.
Bahashim Yahweh Shah.
Our Shunyah,
Baba Kwashah.
Kushah,
Nathan Lanau.
Tanana,
Hakak.
Ka,
Hakak. Lord Pa'ah.
Ka,
Gam Ka'Allah.
Allah,
Kol Manwa.
Call my Allah,
Hakak.
Ka,
Latahar.
Tahar,
Hamatazarayim.
Right,
Hakak.
Ka,
Lahakim.
Haki,
Hamakim.
Ma,
Hakak.
Ka,
Araka'awah.
Ka, Ra,
Hatama Allah.
Allah,
Lakarasham.
Arashah,
Bahashim Yahweh Shah.
Shunyah,
Thawara Amah.
Allah, in English.
Yahweh.
In Yahweh.
In the name of Yahweh.
Please give us the power.
Please give us the power.
The power to heal.
The power to heal.
All manner of sickness.
All manner of sickness.
And all manner of disease.
And all manner of disease.
The power to cleanse the lepers.
The power to cleanse the lepers.
The power to raise the dead.
The power to raise the dead.
The power against unclean
The
spirits.
power against unclean spirits.
Cast them out.
Cast them out.
In the name of Yahweh.
In the name of Yahweh.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So be.
So be it. This is the blessed Israel. Yahweh. By Hashem Yahweh Shah. Barak Lanau. Vayasha'Allah. Bahabayas. Sapari. Barak. Rapah. Magan. Hagan. By Hashem Yahweh Shah. Wadamah. Yahweh. In the name of Yahweh Shah. Bless us
and Israel
and
the school
bless,
heal,
shield, protect.
in the name of Yahweh.
In the name of Yahweh Shah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So be it.
So be it. This is Psalms 121 in the Hebrew. Aisha, Ayanya, Ahahari, Ma'ayan, Yaba'ah, Isaiah, Ma'ai, Yahweh, Aisha, Shamayam, Wa'arakaza, Ayatan, Lamawat, Regalka, Ayanalam, Shamarka, Hana, La'a, Yanawam, Wala'a, Yashan, Shamamar, Yasha'ala, Yahweh, Shamarka, Yahweh, Tazalka, Al-Yah, Yamika, Yawamam, Hashamash, La'a, Yakaka, Wayarak, Malayila, Yahweh, Yashamarka, Makora, Yashamar, Atlapashka, Yahweh, Yashamar, Tazafka, Wawaka, Mayatha, Wa'ai, Awalam, Amar.
I will lift up my eyes to the hill.
I will lift up my eyes to the hill.
From whence cometh my help?
From whence cometh my help?
My help coming from Yahweh.
My help cometh from Yahweh,
Made heaven and earth.
which made heaven and
He
earth.
will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He will not suffer thy foot to be
He
moved.
that keepeth thee
He that keepeth thee
will not slumber.
will not slumber.
Behold,
Behold,
he that keepeth Israel
he that keepeth Israel
shall neither slumber nor sleep.
shall neither slumber nor sleep.
How is thy keeper?
Yahweh is thy keeper.
How is thy shade upon thy right hand?
Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand.
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
nor the moon by night.
or the moon by night.
Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil.
Yahweh shall preserve thee from all
He
evil.
shall preserve thy soul.
He shall preserve thy soul.
Thou shalt preserve thy going out
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out
and thy coming in
and thy coming in
from this time forth,
from this time forth,
even forevermore.
even forevermore.
So be it.
So be it. This is Psalms 83. Alahai.
Alahai.
Al Damayalaka.
Yamaka.
Al Fakarash.
Akarash.
Or Al Fashakwat.
Al-Kashafat.
Al Kayahana.
Yahana.
Or Yabika.
Yamika.
Yahama Yawan.
Yawan.
Woman Shanayaka.
Naya.
Nasha Awa.
Al.
Ra'ash.
Ash.
Al Imaka.
Al-Imaka.
Yaira Yamwa.
Yamma.
Sawa.
Sawa.
Where you throw your eye to Sawa.
I tell you what.
Al Tazapa Wanyaka.
Up to that one you come.
Amarwa.
Tomorrow.
Akawa. When a cock. When a cock in Swaki.
When a cocky.
Magalia.
Holy.
Will a Yesakar.
There's a call.
Sham Yasha Alice.
Sham Yasha out.
Iwa.
Wow.
Kaya.
Kaya.
Never I Tazawa.
Well, I tell you what.
La.
La.
Yachadwa.
Cattle.
Ayaka.
On your cup.
Or Yaf.
Yeah.
Yakarakwa.
Rock.
Aholia.
Holy.
Adawam.
Along.
When Shemai Eliam.
My Olium.
Moa Abba.
Our Abba.
Wa Hagarian.
Our guard.
The ball.
Ball.
Wa Amawan.
One.
Wa Amalak.
Our lock.
Halashaf.
Our shop.
And Yeshabia.
And your shop.
So the war.
There's a wall.
Gum Asha war.
Long Ashur.
Nawa.
Walk.
Imam.
No.
Ayuwa.
I walk.
Zarawai.
Why?
Labanda Lawa.
One year. No walk.
Salam.
So long.
Aisha Laham.
So long.
Kamadin.
Money.
Kasi Yesara'ah.
This is just a lot.
Kayabin.
Yum.
Benachol.
Call.
Oyashwan.
Yashua.
Nishamadwa.
Money.
Ayam Ara.
Ayanda. Aram.
Ayuwa.
Walk.
Daman.
One.
Adama.
Yum.
Chitamwa.
Somewhere.
Nidiyabwa.
Nothing.
Ka'ira, Ukaza'aba, Ukaza'ba, Ukaza'zalmanai, gonna say a Kamwa, Ashar, Amarwa, Neirashah, Lanawah, As, Na'awaf, Alahayim, Shayatamwa, Kagala, Kawash, Lapanya Ka'ash, Ira, Ya'ira, Okalahaba, Kalahat, Harim, Khan, Saradama, Masa'iraka, Wasapafka, Sabalaham, Mala'ah, Hanyaham, Kwalawan, Wayabukwashwa, Shukah, Yahawa, Yabashwa, Wayabahawa, Ayai, Wayakapara, Wayabagwa, Wayabaiwa, Kaya, Asa, Shukah, Yahawa, Labaka, Ayawan, Akal, Ha'arakasa, Aman.
And the angels. Keep not thy silence or your power.
Keep not thy silence on your house.
Hold not thy peace.
Hold not thy
Be
peace.
not still on your house.
And be not still on your house.
For lo,
For lo,
my enemies make a tumult.
thy enemies make a tumult.
They that hate thee
They that hate thee
have lifted up their head.
have lifted up their head.
They have taken crafty counsel
They have taken crafty counsel
against thy people.
against thy people.
Consulted against thy head.
They consulted against thy hidden one.
They have said,
They have said,
Come,
Come,
let us cut them off.
let us come from all,
From being a nation.
from being a
In
nation,
the name of Israel.
with the name of Israel,
And we no more can remember.
and ye no more remember.
They have consulted together
For they have consulted together
with one consent.
with one consent.
They are confederate against
They are confederate against thee,
the tabernacles of Edom
the tabernacles of Edom,
and the Ishmaelites
and the Israelites,
of Moab
of Moab,
and the Hagarenes,
and the Hagarene,
the Gaul,
the Gaul,
Ammon,
and Ammon,
Amalek,
and Amalek,
the Philistines, the
Philistines,
inhabitants of Tyre.
with the inhabitants of Tyre.
Asher also is joined with them.
Asher is also joined with
They
them.
have opened the children of Lot.
They have opened the children of Lot.
Salah.
Salah.
You unto them
Do unto them,
as unto the
and
Midianites,
unto the Midianites,
as to Sisera,
as to Sisera,
as to Jabin,
as to Jabin,
at the brook of Kissar,
and the brook of the Psalm,
which perished at Endor,
which perished at
who
Endor,
became as dung for the earth.
which became as dung for the earth,
Make their nobles like Oreb,
make their nobles like a
and
ram,
like Zaeb.
and like them,
Yea,
yea,
all their princes,
all their princes,
as Zabah,
as Zabah,
and as
and
Amun,
as Amuna,
who said,
who said,
let us take to ourselves
let us take to
the
ourselves
houses of the Most
the
High
houses of the Most High
in possession.
in possession.
O my power,
O my power,
make them like a wheel,
make them like a wheel,
as the stubble before the wind,
as the stubble before the wind,
as the fire burns a wood,
as the fire burns the wood,
and as the flames of the mountains on
and
fire.
as the flames set the mountains on fire.
So persecute them
So persecute them
with thy tempest,
with thy tempest,
make them afraid with thy
and
storm,
make them afraid of thy storm,
fill their faces with shame,
fill their faces with shame,
and they seek thy
and
name.
they seek thy name.
O Yahweh,
O Yahweh,
let them be confounded
and be confounded,
and troubled forever.
trouble forever.
Yea,
Yea,
let them be put to
let
shame
them be put to shame
and perish,
and perish,
and men may know
then they know
that
that
thou,
thou,
whose name alone
name alone,
is Yahweh,
is Yahweh,
art the Most High
art the Most High,
over all the earth.
over all the earth.
So be.
So be it. This is the blessings in Hebrew. Barak say Yahweh,
Barak atah
or
Yahweh,
Yahweh Shai,
Yahweh Shai,
Roma Yaka Allah,
Wamayaka Allah,
Wa Alahayim,
Wa Alahayim,
Matazab Ya'ah,
Tezab Ya'ah,
Alawak Yahana,
Alawak Yahana,
Ha Alawakim,
Ha Alawak,
Ha Saranyim,
Ha Saranya,
Ha Kwatazayanyin,
Akotazayanyim,
Ha Kayayoyim,
Akotazayanyim,
Wa Ha'akwathyim,
Wahakwatnyim,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Wa Hashim Yahweh Shai,
Hashim Yahweh Shai,
for Wada Aman.
Water Aman. In the English, bless you Yahweh,
Bless you, Yahweh,
and Yahweh Shai,
and Yahweh Shai,
and Michael,
and Michael,
and the angels,
and the angels,
commanding General Yahweh,
Commanding General Yohana,
the general,
the general,
captain,
the captain,
the
the
officer,
officers, the troopers,
and the assistant,
and the sisters,
Yahweh.
Yahweh,
The name of Yahweh Shai,
name of Yahweh Shai,
thank you,
so be it. So be it.
The showers will be free. You turn the screen on.
That's why
We in Deuteronomy, the 32nd chapter, verse 14. Are you sure?
Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 14, in the Hebrew. Kama'ath, Bakwar, Wakalab, Taza'an, Ain, Kalab, Karyam, Wa'alyum, Bunya, Bashan, Wadyum, Ain, Kalab, Kolyawas, Chata, Wadam, Ainam, Tashatha, Chamar, verse 15, Wayishaman, Yasharawan, Ba'ait, Shamanath, Abayath, Kashayath, Wayatash, Alawa, Aisha Hawa, Nabal, Tazawar, Yasha Aizawa, verse 16, Yakwa Na'aha, Slakia, Yakwan Aha, Lazarium, Batha Wa'aibath, Yaka'ai Yasa, verse 17, Yaza Bachwa, Lashadium, La'a, Allah, Allahayim, La'a, Yada'aiwam, Kadashiam, Makorab, Ba'awa, La'a, Sha'ai Rawam, Abasayakam, verse 18, Tazawar, Yaladka, Thashaya, Wathashakat, Al, Macha, verse 19, Wayora'ah, Yahawah, Wayanataza'ah, Macha Ice, Banyawa, Wabanathyawa, verse 20, Wayamar, Asaf Yawa, Yasak Yara'ah, Salaki, Yasak Yara, Salaki, Hanya, Maham, Araha, Ma, Acharya, Thumb, Kaya, the war, Saha, Pachath, Hama, Bunyan, La'a, Aman, Bum. That's it.
Deuteronomy 32. Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 14. What of kind and milk of sheep, fat of lambs, and rams of the breed of Bashan, and goats with the fat of kittens. Wheat. And thou didst drink the pure blood of the grape. Now, we don't drink blood. Oh, come say talking about drinking blood when we drink blood, okay? You know what I'm saying? A lot of times we'll talk about let's talk about fat. Fat of the animal. You know, Jewish people, people don't get the language and the culture of Israel. You can eat the fat of the animal. Dum-dums, okay? They think you can't eat the fat of the lion. Sometimes that's the best part. You know what I'm saying? When you get the flavor part. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, you used to keep it fat in a tub. And they The state kicked that on my ass.
Come, sir.
The wine is talking about the facts. Okay?
Come.
Clear, full agenda stuff. I need to get that confused about it. Okay?
The water, sir.
The pure blood of the grape. 15, but, you shall run wax fat, and kick thy heart wax and fat. Thou art grown thick, thou art covered with fatness. That he forsook the Most High, which made him, and lightly esteemed the rock of his salvation. 16. They provoked him to jealousy with strange gods. The foreign nations provoked him to anger. 17. They sacrificed unto devils, not to the Most High, to gods whom they knew not. To new gods they came newly up, where your fathers feared not. 18. Of the rock that begot thee thou art unmindful, and hast forgotten the Most High that formed thee. Forgotten the Most High that formed thee. 19. When the Most High saw it, he abhorred them because of the provoking of his sons and of his daughters. Verse 20. And he said, I will hide my face from them. I will see what their end shall be. For they are very forward. For they are a very forward generation, children in whom there is no faith. Oh, I'm fine. This is fine. I'm ready to put it back in there. Good. That's a lot.
So now in Deuteronomy 32, we're reading verses 21 through 27. Deuteronomy 32, verse 21. One year.
Can I say something?
Come, sir. Come, sir.
You know, this is exactly what we become today. A forward generation. Forward is like would be the opposite of forward. Somebody gentle and I don't say passive or just not necessarily passive, but kinder and gentle and easy. That's the opposite of forward.
Come.
We become so goddamn disgusting and foul and forward in our wickedness. You know what I mean? That's what I mean. Like we confident in our wickedness. Thanks to Christianity. Christianity gave us that's how we validate our wickedness. We validate our wickedness through Christianity. Christian church said you can do whatever you want, but it's like it's fair game. They say so-called turn nail to the cross with that. We forward with that. We don't have no shame in it.
Come.
You know.
Come. It's Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 21. One year. So 1 year. Bol Yahum. Anya. Aquan Ein. Bagawa. Bagolia. Nabal. Your son. Verse 22. Kaya. Shah. Quadaha. Quadaha. Ba'atya. What's a Yakwa. I. Sha'awal. Fakhathya. What's a call. Arakazar. Where Bala. What's a hot. Mawasadia, Parian, verse 23. Asapa, Mawa, or Iwas, Kataza. So I'm going. I know it. So I'm not going to get some people hard to that. I saw pa all the Mawa for Iwat Katazaya. I call her Bum, verse 24. Mazaya Ra'aib Walachamya Rashak Wakwata Mario Raya Shun Laham Wat Ashalach Bum Ein Chamat Zachalia Ipar, verse 25. Verse 25. Makawataza Thashakal Harab Wamachadarium Ayama Gum Bachawar Gum Bathawala Yahweh Nak Ein Ayash Shayabba, verse 26. Amarthia, Yahum, Ashabyatha, Amanwash, Zakaram, verse 27. The Walalia, Ka'is, Aryab, Agawar, Pun, Yana Karwa, Tazarium wa, Pun, Ya Amarwa, Yada Yanya, Ra'am, Ramaha, Wala'a, Yahweh, Pa'al, Kal, Za'af, verse 28. Kaya, Goya, Abad, Aitazawaf, Amad, Wa'ayan, Baham, Saba, Wana, verse, yes. It's like I went too far. That's all right, we're now going to read Deuteronomy 32, 21 through 27 in the English. Deuteronomy, verse 32. Verse 21. They have moved me to jealousy with that which is not God. They have provoked me to anger with their vanities, and I will move them to jealousy with those which are not a people. I will provoke them to anger with a foolish nation. Verse 22. For a fire is kindled in my anger, and shall burn unto the lowest hell, and shall consume the earth with her increase, and set on fire the foundations of the mountains. Verse 23. I will heap mischiefs upon them. I will spend mine arrows upon them. Verse 24. They shall be burnt with hunger and devoured with burning heat, and with bitter destruction. I will also send the teeth of beasts upon them, with the poison of serpents of the dust. Verse 25. The sword without and the terror within shall destroy both the young man and the virgin, the suckling also the man of gray hairs. Verse 26. I said I would scatter them into corners, and will make the remembrance of them to cease from among men. Verse 27. Were it not that I fear the wrath of the enemy, lest their adversaries should have behaved themselves strangely, and lest they should say, our hand is high, and the Lord hath done all of this. That's it. All right, we're now going to be reading Deuteronomy 32, verse 28 to 34. Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 28. Kaya, Goya, Abad, Aitazawat, Hamad, Awayan, Baham, Saba, Wana, verse 29. Lawa, Chakamwa, Yasha, Chayalwa, Za'af, Yabe Yanwa, La'achar Yaham Thumb. Verse 30. Ayacha, Yaradan, Yaradat, Ha, Allah, Washunyam, one Yana Yasawa, Rababa, La'a, Kaya, Tazawarma, Tazawaram, Salaki, Makoram, Yahweh, Hasa Garma, verse 31. Kaya, La'a, Katazawarna, now. Tazawarma, Yabayan, now. Palalam, verse 32. Kaya, Magapan, Saddam, Yaganam, Wamashada Math, and Marha, Aina Bamwa, Ainadya, Rawash, Asha Kalath, Mararath, Lamwa, verse 33. Hamath, Thanayanam, Yanam, or Rash, Athanyam, Achazar, verse 34. Hala'ah, Kamath, Imadya, Thum, what Tazarathya, and that's it. Just if you have any questions, you can ask. All right. We're now going to be reading in the English, Deuteronomy 32, 28 through 34. Deuteronomy 32, verse 28. For they are a nation void of counsel, neither is there any understanding in them. Verse 29. Oh, that they were wise, that they understood this, that they would consider their latter end. Verse 30. How should one chase 1,000 and put 10,000 to flight, except that a rock had sold them, and the Most High shut them up? Verse 32. For their rock is not as our rock, even our enemies themselves being judges. Verse 32. For their vine is the vine of Sodom, and of the fields of Gomorrah. Their grapes are the grapes of Gaul. Their clusters are bitter. Verse 33. Their wine is the poison of dragons, and the cruel venom of asps. Verse 34. Is not this laid up in store for me, and sealed up among my treasures? And that's it.
What are they talking about when they saying that? Kind of.
So like you said, when they're saying, when you talk about when we're talking about it says that, which scriptures, which verse?
I think like the second and the last. He's talking about the vines and stuff. What is that scripture that he was saying?
Please, so, this is the song, I believe. This is the song he had them make for themselves and sing. All right, so in context, sister, this is the song. So the Most High, when he was leading the children of Israel into the promised land, he told Moses and he told the priests on it. He said the children of Israel are going to go into the land of Canaan, and he said, and they're actually going to go after other gods. He said they're going to go after other gods. They're not going to obey me. So he told them in context, I want y'all to make a song. And he said, and this song is going to be a witness against you, Israel, as far as, be a witness against you to pretty much prove what I said is going to come true. So when you're reading verse 32, 32 is a song pretty much that Israel had to sing pretty much as a witness against them on what they were going to do when they went into the land. And so when it's talking about it's talking about Israel. It's a song that he said that they had to sing. They had to, so he told me, he said, this is a stiff-necked nation. They're going to go into that land which I give them, which I promised them, and they're going to disobey me. So he was like, he told Moses to write this song as a witness against them. So the they is a kind of talk about Israel, of what they were going to do. They were going to go horn after other gods. They were going to go they were going to go, you know, they were going to sacrifice them. They were not going to obey what the Most High said. So in context, this is what they're talking about. And if you, to prove that, let me see, let's go back. Let's go back real quick, if I may say. Let me see, I want to give a little, let me give you another, let me go back and see. So look, if you look in verse 9 of 32, so this is kind of like, if you look at chapter 32, verse 9, it said, for the Most High's portion is people, Jacob, his people, Jacob is the lot of his inheritance. He found him in the desert. So this is, of course, like, kind of like a metaphor, allegorical type, it's a metaphor. He's like, he found him in a desert land, in a waste howling wilderness. He led him about, he instructed him, he kept him as the apple of his eye. So that's talking about how the Most High, you know, brought, you know, was with Jacob. You know, he brought him out of Egypt. Okay, and as the eagle strengthened up her nest, fluttering over her young, spread her about her wings, taketh them, beareth them on her wings. So the Most High alone did lead him, and there was no strange God with him. So it's talking about how the Most High led them out of Egypt. He led them in the wilderness. He made him ride high on the place of the earth, that he might eat the increase of the fields, and he made him to suck honey out of the rock and oil out of the flinty rock. Butter of kine and milk of sheep. So as the cat was bringing out, he gave them the fat. He was letting them eat the fat of the, he's going to let them eat of the fat of the, especially when they went in the land of Canaan. There was just all the great stuff in Canaan, the grapes, the fat of the land. And they destroyed those nations, and they took the nations. But verse 15 kind of shows what Israel was going to do. It says, but Jeshurun waxed fat and kicked. There are waxen fat, there are grown thick, there are covered with fatness. Then he forsook the Most High which made him. So let's talk about how when they were going to the land of, which they did, when they went into the land of Canaan, they forsook him. And they started going after strange gods. And after a while, he would always send a judge. And after they went after strange gods, they would go into captivity. This is especially when we look in the book of Judges. Every time they would go after strange gods, then a nation like the Philistines would go take them to captivity, and the Most High would bring a judge about to deliver them. Verse 16 says, they provoked him to jealousy with strange gods, and with abominations provoking him to anger. And as verse 17 says, they sacrifice unto devils, not to gods whom they do not, to new gods that came newly up, whom their fathers feared not. So the context is, he's talking about what Israel would do. So that is the they. He's just talking about the attitude Israel would have when they got into the land of Canaan. Okay. What's what? What kind, sir? In the back with the captain says we still do because, you know, if you notice, every other nation wants to take our book and make it theirs because you know they know the importance of it, and they'll actually try to follow it. We will go after other. We want to celebrate Christmas. We want to celebrate Easter. We actually want to go after. We want to worship Allah. We want to worship Kemet the sun and all that. We go after everything but what the book says. So like the Cap said, Cap brought out, we're still doing that today. We're about 32, 35, 40. Come, sir. Come, sir. 35 to 41, sir. Come, sir.
Deuteronomy chapter 13, verse 35. Well, yeah. Yeah. Shalom. Shalom. Ha'ayim. And the lots. Shalom. So, yeah. On the woman. The woman. On the dumb. The chash. I think God. On the wall, 36. Koyah, Yadmin, Nakol, on the wall. Wa'al, Ibadior, the thumb. Ya, Ya, Zala, Ya, Pas, Act is a war, As a war, Mar, Ya, Haya, Haya,
Come, sir.
There's a war. Because of the war. The war, the Shah, Khalad, Zabak no more. The Khawla, the Shakwa, the Yan. That's when you come. The one more. The Azar come. Yeah, I will come to God, to the rock, a rock.
Come, sir.
I'm up. We're up. We're young. Hayo, Maria, Ya, Achia, Khatizafia, Ania, Yan, Yaya, Tazia, Ya, Shamia, Yania, Marah, Khaya. Mafia, Long, Shanawafia, Rock, Karabia, Ach, Khaz, Shabbat, Yadi, Shiyah, Gom, Tazaria, Shun,
That's what I was thinking, sir. Come. I'm not sure that word, but that's what I was thinking. I was thinking that because I'm not sure what that word, that root word, I'm looking at. Root word is Shana or Shana. That's the root word. Let me see. So it would be Shana. Because the root word is Shana or Shana. That's the root word. Shana. It's either Shana or Shana. Come, sir. Come. So we'll be Shana. Come, sir. So a lot We're reading now Deuteronomy chapter 32, verses 35 through 41 in English. Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 35. To me belongeth vengeance and recompense. Their foot shall slide in due time, for the day of their calamity is at hand, and the things that shall come upon them make haste. Verse 36, like it. For the Most High shall judge his people, and repent himself for his servants. When he seeth that their power is gone, and there is none, shut up or left. Verse 37, and he shall say, where are their gods, their rock, in whom they trusted? Verse 38, which did eat the fat of their sacrifices, and drank the wine of their drink offerings, and let them rise up and help you, and be your protection.
Right, don't call me God now.
Come.
Don't call us the Most High. I mean, that's what they do, right? A Muslim gets shot up on all Jesus. Praying to Jesus or whatever. And you a whole Muslim. You know what I'm saying? Praying all down to the rock on your life.
Come.
Now you want to pray to God, right?
Come.
Or you have an atheist. Don't even believe in God. As soon as he on the damn table, on that day, he talked to a priest.
Come.
You know what I'm saying? That's the way we destroy the town.
Come, sir.
You understand? All the killers and shit. We don't want justice, man. We don't want peace. We don't want solutions. We just want to be bloodied up with the goddamn enemy. What's disgusting? It's absolutely vile and disgusting how much we want to be a part of this society.
Come.
So much that we follow their gods. Are you kidding me? We want to be buddy with these two disgusting nations. It's absolutely, it's like we become a whore. We become a goddamn whore to the other nations. We want to talk like them. We want to dress like them. We want to hang out when they hang out. We want to celebrate their, holiday. What was the last one? Mother's Day. You know what I'm saying? Anything they do, we got to be a part of it. We destroy that.
Come.
It's a sad sight. We don't even see how much of a whore we become.
Come.
We don't even see how much. We think, we all together, all inclusive. You are whore. We become whores to the other nations now. And we bled right into their society thinking that we was going to be equal when we were on the bottom.
Come, sir. Verse 39. See now that I, even I am he, and there is no power with me. I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. And the Most High is the one that does these things. The Most High is the one that does these things. You know, the Most High is in control of who dies and who lives. All right, he's the one that decides if that bullet is going to hit you in that market. All right, when you going out, and he's the one that's going to decide whether that bullet misses you. All right, so the Most High is the one that says he does all of this. Verse 40, for I lift up my hand to heaven and say, I live forever. Verse 41, if I wet my glittering sword and my hand take hold on judgment, I will render vengeance to my enemies and will reward them that hate me. That's it. We're now in Deuteronomy 32, reading verses 42 through 48. Deuteronomy, verse 32, verse 42 through 48. Ashakayar, Chataziyah, Badam, Acharabya, Fa'akol, Bashar, Madam, Halal, Washabya, Mara'ash, Paraiwaf, Hawayah, verse 43. Verse 43. Harayanawa, Goyim, Aimwa, Kaya, Dam, Ibadyawa, Yakwawam, Wanakwam, Yashayab, Latazaryawa, Wakapar, Adamaswa, Imwa, verse 44. I waya ba'a, Masha, waya dabar, as, call, dabarya, hashay yara, as a as, zanya, ha'ai, hawa'a, waha, washai, bun, how was shucks like it, washai, like bun, Nawan, verse 45. Where you call, Mashah, the Dabar, Af, call, Dabarium, Allah, all, call, Yasha'ala, verse 46. Where you Amar, Allahum, Yamwa, Lababkum, Lakal, Hadabarium, Ashar, Anakya, Ma'ayad, Makam, Hayawam, Ashar, Satazawam, Af, Bunyakam, Lashamar, La'ay Shawas, Af, Call, Dabaria, Hasa Wara, Hasa As, verse 47. Kaya, La'a, Dabar, Raka, Hawa'a, Makam, Kaya, Hawa'a, Chayayakam, Waba Dabar, Hazah, Sa'ari Yakawa, Sa'ara Yahwa, Yum, Al, Ha'adama, Ashar, Asam, Ibari, Yum, As, Hayaradan, Shema, Lasharasa, Larashata, verse 48. Wayadabar, Yahweh, all, Moshe, Ba'ai Tazam, Ayawam, Hazal, La'amar. And that's it.
Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 42. I will make my arrows drunk with blood, and my sword shall devour flesh, and that with the blood of the slain and of the captives from the beginning of the vengeance upon the enemy. 43. Rejoice, O ye nations, with his people, for he will avenge the blood of his servants, and will render vengeance to his adversaries, and will be merciful unto his land, and to his people. 44. And Moses came and spake all the words of this song in the ears of the people, he, and Hoshea, the son of Nun. 45. Moses made an end of speaking all these words to all. 46. And he said unto them, set your hearts unto all the words which I testify among you this day, for ye shall command your children to observe to do all the words of this law. 47. For it is not a vain thing for you, because it is your life. And through this thing ye shall prolong the days of your life. Whether ye go over Jordan to possess it. 48. And the Most High spake unto Moses that self-same day, saying,
Come on, sir. Now we're now reading Deuteronomy 32, verses 49 through 52, and then we're reading chapter 33, 1 through 3. Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 49. Allah, all, Ha'ibarium, Azah, Haranabwa, Ashar, Ba'aratazah, Mawa'ab, Ashar, Al, Punya, Yarachwa, Wara'aha, Af, Aratazah, Kana'aim, Ashar, Anya, Nathan, Labanya, Yasha'ala, la'achazah. Verse 50. Verse 50. Wamath, Bahar, Ashar, Atha, Allah, Shema, Waha, Asak, Al, Amadyaka, Ashar, Math, Aharon, Yaka, Wahar, Pahar, Waya Asak, Al, Aniwa, verse 51. Al, Ashar, Ma'ai Latham, Baya, Latha Wak, Bunya Yasha'ala, Bunya, Mori Yabath, Quadash, Madabar, Aiktazan, Tazan, Al, Ashar, La'a, Quadashtam, Awasya, Lathawak, Bunya, Yasha'ala, Kaya, Managad, Fara'ah, Harakazah, Washama, La'a, Sabawa'a, Al, Harakazah, Ashar, Anya, Nathan, Labunya, Yasha'ala. We're in Deuteronomy chapter 33 now, verses 1 through 3. Was A'ath, Habarakha, Ashar, Barak, Mashah, Ayash, Ha'alahayim, Bunya, Yasha'ala, Lapunya, Mawaswa, verse 2. Waya Amar, Yahweh, Masayanya, Ba'a, Wazarach, Mashayar, Lamwa, Hayai, Bahar, Ha'aran, Wa'atha, Marababath, Quadash, Ma'yam Yanawa, Ashadath, Lamawa, verse 3. Ha, Chabab, Ayam, Kal, Quadashua, Vayadka, Waham, Sakawa, Laragolka, Yasha'ah, Madabarath Yaka. And that's it.
Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 49.
Verse 49, come up, counsel.
Get thee up into this mountain of Aram, unto Mount Nebo, which is the land of Moab. This is over against Jericho, and behold, the land of Canaan, which I gave unto the children of Israel for a possession. 50. And die in the mountain there, whether thou goest up, and be gathered unto the people, as Aaron thy brother died in Mount Hor, and was gathered unto his people. 51. Be, because ye trespassed against me among the children of Israel at the waters of Meribah, Kadesh, in the wilderness of Zin. Because ye sanctified me not in the midst of the children of Israel. 52. Yet thou shalt see the land before thee, but thou shalt not go thither unto the land which I give the children of Israel. Deuteronomy chapter 33, verse 1. And this is the blessing wherewith Moses, the man of the Most High, blessed the children of Israel before his death. 2. And he said, the Most High came from Sabbath, and rose up from Seir unto them. He shined forth from Mount Haran, and he came with 10,000 of saints. From his right hand went a fiery law before them. Verse 3. Yea, he loved the people. All his saints are in thy hand. And they sat down at thy feet. everyone shall receive of thy words.
We're now in Deuteronomy chapter 33, verses 4 through 10. Come.
Deuteronomy chapter 33, verse 4. They will rock. Does the walk. Lumber. On the walk. Shut. Shut. For her lot. It says a quad. Five. We are young. We are Yasha. Yasha one. The lock. The lock. Sa. Ashi. Ayin. Chad. Shabbatia. Yasha Awa. 6. Yachia. All. Ma. Yeah. What do you want? It's a paw. It is an eye. Good. We are out. We are more. Shema. How? Wall. How? All. I know what. Anwa. Yadua. Ra. Wa. Izar. Tazar. Yeah. Hey. Law. Yeah. Lawyer. I'm a rock. A warrior. Warrior. Yash. Kasayada. Kasayadak. Kasayadak. Shaw. Kasayak. Kasayak. Sub. Yab. Koa. Yab. 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 Mar. Abdul.
It's the word that is like his. It's like his mother. And it's a Zara. We war. Kashapatika. We are quad. because of the end of possession.
Before the cut.
What's the rock? Common concept.
Rock.
Common concept.
Rock cut.
Common concept.
Oh, yeah, sure. Out of it. It's a young one. That's a rock. That's a rock. Hawk. Cold. Y'all. Mother Bach.
We're going to now read. We're going to now read Deuteronomy chapter 33, 4 through 10 in English. Deuteronomy chapter 33, verse 4. Moses commanded us a law, even the inheritance of the congregation of Jacob, verse 5. And he was king in Jeshurun, when the heads of the people and the tribes of Israel were gathered together. Verse 6. Let Reuben live and not die, and let not his men be few. Verse 7. And this is the blessing of Judah. And he said, Hear, Most High, the voice of Judah, and bring him unto his people, and let his hands be sufficient for him, and be thou a help to him for his enemies, from his enemies. Verse 8. And of Levi, he said, Let the Thummim and the Urim be with the Holy One, whom thou didst prove at Massah, and with whom thou didst strive at the waters of Meribah. Verse 9. Who said unto his father and to his mother, I have not seen him, neither did he acknowledge his brother, nor knew his own children. For they have observed the word, and they have kept thy covenant. Verse 10. They shall teach Jacob the judgments, and Israel the law, and they shall put incense upon thee, and whole burnt sacrifice upon thine altar. And that's it.
Is that why you burn the incense?
We burn the incense and God knows that's enough. Now, that frankincense is not a lot. And it's our tradition. It's our part of our culture. Burn the incense. But you was referencing something you just read.
Well, in this context, right at this time, the Levi, that the Levi, when the children of Israel were going into the wilderness, remember he set Levi apart. So Levi, which was a part of the Levitical priesthood, he set them apart, and they had certain things that they had to do before the Most High. Like they had in the wilderness they had a tabernacle, and the tabernacle, everybody had a tent in the wilderness. And the Most High even had his tent where he hovered over. And nobody really could come into certain parts of the tent except the Levitical priests. And even the Levitical priests had certain areas where they couldn't enter. There was certain areas that were restricted, like even up here. It's like even up here, like nobody could just walk up here unless you're set apart. Like a trooper just can't walk up here unless it's divided, but the trooper can't necessarily touch like the cups and stuff like that. So that is something, so that's something that we've kept. So the Levitical priests were the ones that were in charge of burning the incense in the tabernacle. They were in charge of they were in charge of the north watch. I couldn't think of the word. They were in charge of the lights. They were in charge of also burning the sacrifice. Like even when people brought a lamb or a ram, they had to give it to the Levitical priests. Okay, and they would slaughter it and sprinkle the blood. So there was order, and this is all to just keep order. This is also to just show that the Most High sets apart people to do a specific job. Because the Christian church would have you believe that anybody can do anything. Anybody can just run up to the altar. Anybody can just be a preacher.
Everybody's a prophet.
Everybody's a prophet. Everybody can prophesy, and that's chaos. I grew up in the Christian church. It's very chaotic. You don't know who's in charge. You don't know what's going on. Everybody's speaking gibberish and in tongues. Everybody's falling out, and there's no order. And that's not the Most High. The Most High is an order, and that's why even like in school we have rank. It's to really just order, so things can be ordered. So that's why when he said to burn the incense, the Levitical priests were in charge of that. If that answers your question. Come, sir.
And Christians, right? They don't look at priests, they look at it as like a hobby or something. Okay? It's an actual. They have like everything that we do is like strategic. It's a certain format. This is a job. It ain't theatrical like the Christian church. Every small detail on this table, everything that we do, not only part of our culture, it's part of the job.
Come, sir.
Okay? You get tasked with certain duties. Rest assured you, there's an entire pamphlet or a notebook of certain steps you got to take to do it. It ain't just freelancing. No. When priest, he do this, he do that, he touch that. You don't touch that. You boom, X, Y, Z. Order, decency and order. Military. All right.
Come.
Listen, a lot of everything.
So, sir, may I ask you, please? And if you also, I don't know if this would be a piece of certainly you can correct me wrong, but even if you think about one of the parables that Yahushua made, there was a parable, and I'm paraphrasing, I gotta find it. I'll find it in the class, but he was talking about a man came in and he didn't have his garments on. He was thrown out. Now I know he was making an analogy, but that's how particular the Most High is about order. He killed Aaron's sons because they put strange fire, just strange fire in front of his face. He killed them. The Most High is very particular of like the Cap said. There's a reason for everything, and just follow the order. Yep. There is and Aaron's sons died because they did not follow the order. They put the Most High had told them to do a specific thing, and they were priests. They were sons of Aaron, so they were priests. But they were of the Levitical tribe, but they did something the Most High said not to. And that's how serious the Lord is. You come up before him, you do exactly what he says. And like I said, if I may, so I know that because as a teacher, I know that it's like you don't do what you do exactly what I say. I know what I'm talking about. It's the same with the Lord. The Most High, he knows what he's talking. Just do what he says. But the Christian church, anybody can come wherever the Spirit just flows against you. Right. You can just do what you want and wherever the Spirit just flows.
And that's hate.
That's hate.
All of the order and being strategic and everything, following the format that the Lord gave us, that's love.
Come.
That's protection. Everything else is dangerous.
Come.
We can't just continue to be out of order and to do whatever the hell we want. You see what that costs us.
Come.
You understand? You see how costly that was. Everybody doesn't understand how valuable. Yeah, we want to teach that quite a while. But how being in order as a priest, how important that job was. You know, I ain't gonna do it too much. I'm right.
La Yashab. This is for everybody. Imadium or Imad. Opanya, Akudam, means rise and face the east. This is the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew, then in the English. The Lord's Prayer. Abinah, Shabbat Shabbat, Quadash, Hayah, Shemka, Yahweh, Malak Wafka, Tama'ah, Retazayka, Hayah, Aisha, Barakazah, Kawa, Hayah, Bashamayah, Nathan Lanam, Lakam, Kal, Yawam, Wasalak now. Kabawak now. Kasalat now. Kabawafi now. Waba'ah. Kabiyai now. Manasai one. Abal. Kabashai now. Mayan. Rad. Kaya. Laka. Kamalakwa. Waha'ala. Waha'apa Araf. Ma'a'ilamu. Aman. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. The kingdom come, the will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our debt as we forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. So be it. This is Hakat, the power. Yahweh. Bahashim Yahweh. Baba Kusha. Mathamlana. Hakat. Lapa'ah. Kamaka Allah. Komawa. Hakat. Latahar. Amatazarine. Hakat. Lahakli. Amathi. Hakat. Awaka Allah. Matama'ala. Lagrashun. Bahashim Yahweh. Tawad
In the name of
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahweh.
In the name of Yahweh.
Please give us the power.
Please give us the power.
Power to heal.
Power to heal.
All manner of sickness.
All manner of sickness.
And all manner of disease.
And all manner of disease.
Power to cleanse the leper.
Power to cleanse the lepers.
Power to raise the dead.
Power to raise the dead.
Power against unclean spirits.
Power against unclean spirits.
To cast them out.
Cast them out.
In the name of Yahweh.
In the name of Yahweh.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So be it.
So be it. This is the blessed Israel. Yahweh. Bahashim Yahweh. Barak now. Waya Sha'ala. Wahabayah. Sapari. Barak. Rapah. Magan. Bahashim Yahweh. The water among.
The angels. Yahweh.
Yahweh.
The name of Yahweh.
The name of Yahweh.
Bless us.
Bless us.
And Israel.
And Israel.
And the school.
And the school.
Bless.
Heal.
Shield.
Shield.
Protect. In the name of Yahweh.
In the name of Yahweh.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So
So be it. This is Psalms 121. Aisha. Ayanya. Ahahari. Ma'ayan. Yaba'ah. Aizari. Ma'ayin. Yahweh. Aisha. Shamayam. Wa'aratiza. Ayathan. Mawat. Ragalka. Ayanawam. Shamarka. Hana. La'ab. Yanawam. Wala'ab. Yishan. Shawamar. Yasha'al. Yahweh. Shamar. Yahweh. Tazal. Al-Yah. Yamika. Yawamam. Hashamash. La'ah. Yakaka. Wayarak. Waliyala. Yahweh. Yashamarka. Makora. Yashamar. Apnapashka. Yahweh. Yashamar. Taza'afka. Wawa'aka. Mayatha. Wa'ai. Awalam. Amar.
In the angels, I will lift up my eyes into the hills.
I will lift up my eyes into the hills.
From whence comes my help?
From whence cometh my help?
My help cometh from Yahweh.
My help cometh from Yahweh,
Which made heaven and earth.
which made heaven and earth.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He that keepeth thee
He that keepeth thee
will not slumber.
will not slumber.
Behold,
Behold,
he that keepeth Israel
he that keepeth Israel
shall neither slumber nor sleep.
shall neither slumber nor sleep.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand.
Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand.
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
nor the moon by night.
nor the moon by night.
Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil.
Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil.
He shall preserve thy soul.
He shall preserve thy soul.
He shall. Yahweh shall preserve thy going out,
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out
and thy coming in,
and thy coming in
from this time forth,
from this time forth
and even forevermore.
and even forevermore. This is Psalms 83.
So be it.
So be it. This is Psalms 83. Alahayim.
Abahaya,
Aldama Yalakah.
Aldam Yalaka,
Alpha Karash.
Alpha Karat,
Alpha Shakwat.
Alpha Shakwat,
Al. Kayahana.
Ayahana,
Awiyabika.
Yabika,
Yahama Yawan.
Amen.
Umashanayaka.
Tonight,
Nasha Awa.
Awu,
Ra'ash. Al Imaka, Ya Ira Young One, Sawad, when you say your eye to the one, Alta Zapa One Yaka, Amarwa, Makawa, when a Kakium, Magalia, when a Yazakar, Sham Yasha'ala, Iwad, Kaya, now I to the one, La, Yahadwa, Ayaka, Riyah, Yakarakwa, Aholia, Adawam, where you Shemai Aliyam, Wa'aba, Wahagarian, the ball, I'm a one, I'm a lock, Halasha, I'm Yeshabia, sons of war, Dam Asha war, Nalawa, Imam, Hayawa, Zarawad, Labani Lawa, Salah, Aisha Laham, Kamadian, Kasa Yasara, Kayabian, Manachal, Koyashman, Neshamadwa, Ba'ayamna Ara, Hayawa, the man, La Adama, Shayatamwa, Nadayabwa, Ka'ira, Wakazaaba, Wakazabak, Wakazalmanai, Konasayakamwa, Ashar, Amarwa, Nayrasha, Lanawa, Af, Na'awaf, Alahayim, Shayathamwa, Kagogla, Kwakwash, La Panyaraka, Ka'ash, Saba'ira Wakalahaba, Salahat, Harian, Khan, Sawadatma, Masa'iraka, what was Sawapaka, Sabalaham, Mala'ah, Kanyaham, Kuala One, Wabakwashma, Shimka, Yahawa, Yabakwashma, looks like Yabashma, Wabahola, Ayda'ai, Wayakapara, Wayababa, Wayda'ai, Kaya, Asa, Shimka, Yahawa, Labaka, Aliwan, Akal, Arakza, Aman.
Sorry that he breathed in the English. Keep not thy silence, O Yahweh.
Keep not thy silence, O Yahweh.
Hold not thy peace.
Hold not thy peace.
And be not still, O Yahweh.
And be not still, O Yahweh.
For lo, thy enemies make a tumult.
Thy enemies make a tumult.
And then they hate thee.
And then they hate thee.
They have lifted up the head.
They have lifted up the head.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
And consulted against thy hidden one.
And consulted against thy hidden one.
They have said,
Come,
and let us cut them off.
Let us cut them off.
From being a nation.
From being a nation.
That the name of Israel.
That the name of Israel.
May be no more to remember.
May be no more remember.
For they have consulted together.
They have consulted together.
With one consent.
With one consent.
They are confederate against
They are confederate against it.
the tabernacles of Edom.
The tabernacles of Edom.
And the Ishmaelites.
And the Israelites.
Of Moab.
Of Moab.
And the Hagarenes.
And the Hagarenes.
Of Baal.
The Baal.
And Ammon.
And Ammon.
Amalek.
And Amalek.
The Philistines.
The Philistines.
And the inhabitants of Tyre.
The inhabitants of Tyre.
Asher also joined them.
Asher is also joined with them.
They have both been the children of Lot.
They have both the children of Lot.
Salah. Do unto them.
Do unto them.
As unto the Midianites.
And as unto the Midianites.
As to Sisera.
As to Sisera.
As to Jabin.
As to Jabin.
And the brook of Kissar.
And the brook of Kissar.
Which perished at Endor.
Which perished at Endor.
They became as dung for the earth.
They became as dung for the earth.
Made their nobles like a red.
Make their nobles like a red.
And like Zahab.
And like Zahab.
Yea.
Yea.
All their princes.
All their princes.
As Zabah.
As Zabah.
And as Zamuna.
And as Zamuna.
Who said.
Let
us take for ourselves.
Let us take for ourselves.
The houses of the Most High.
The houses of the Most High.
In possession.
In possession.
Oh my power.
Oh my power.
Make them like a wheel.
Make them like a wheel.
As the stubble before the wind.
As the stubble before the wind.
As the fire burneth a wood.
As the fire burneth the wood.
And as the flames of the mountains on fire.
And as the flames of the mountains on fire.
So persecute
them
with thy tempest,
and
make them afraid
with
thy storm.
Fill
their faces with shame,
that
they may seek thy name.
O
Yahweh, let them be confounded, and troubled forever. Yea, and to be put to shame, and perish, that men may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the Most High, over all the earth.
So be it. This is the blessings in Hebrew Barakatha Yahweh.
Barakatha Yahweh.
Wa Yahweh Shah.
Wa Yahweh Shah.
Wa Mayaka Allah.
Wa Mayaka Allah.
Wa Allah Hayy.
Wa Allah Hayy.
Matazab Ya'ah.
Matazab Ya'ah.
Allah Wak Yahana.
Allah Wak Yahana.
Ha Allah Wakyum.
Ha Allah Wakyum.
Ha Saranyum.
Ha Saranyum.
Ha Kortazayanyum.
Ha Kortazayanyum.
Ha Chayadoyum.
Ha Chayadoyum.
Wa Ha Akwathium.
Wa Ha Akwathium.
Yahweh. Wa Hashim Yahweh Shah.
Hashim Yahweh Shah.
Fawala Aman.
Fawala Aman. And the angels, bless you, Yahweh.
Bless you, Yahweh.
And Yahweh Shah.
And Yahweh Shah.
And Michael.
And Michael.
And the angels.
And the angels.
Commanding General Yahweh.
Commanding General Yahweh.
The generals.
The generals.
The captains.
The captains.
The officers.
The officers.
The troopers.
The troopers.
And the sisters.
And the sisters.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahweh Shah.
In the name of Yahweh Shah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So be it.
So be it.
Curses. Blessed are you, Yahweh.
Blessed are you, Yahweh.
King of heaven and earth.
King of heaven and earth.
And all things living.
And all things living.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahweh Shah.
In the name of Yahweh Shah.
Listen to us now.
Listen to us now.
Right now.
Right now.
Send evils and curses.
Send evils and curses.
And punishment and destruction.
And punishment and destruction.
To the heathen.
To the heathen.
That speak against us.
That speak against us.
Thy prophets.
Thy prophets.
The teachers.
The teachers.
The princes.
The princes.
The priests.
The priests.
The Israelite brothers.
The Israelite brothers.
And the schools.
And the schools.
Send evils and curses.
Send evils and curses.
And punishment and destruction.
And punishment and destruction.
To the heathen.
To the heathen.
And shake loose.
And shake loose.
The treasure.
The treasure.
Of the rich of Israel.
Of the rich of Israel.
That refuse to give to the school.
That refuse to give to the school.
Force their riches.
Force their riches.
To enter into thy sanctuary.
To enter into thy sanctuary.
Send evil.
Send evil.
And curses.
And curses.
And punishment.
And punishment.
And destruction.
And destruction.
To the Edomites.
To the Edomites.
And the nation.
And the nation.
And their drug dealers.
And the drug dealers.
The court
The
system.
court system.
The prison
The
system.
prison system.
The Planned Parenthood.
Planned Parenthood.
All the governments of our enemies.
All the governments of our enemies.
Amalek synagogues and armies.
Amalek synagogues and armies.
The Roman Catholic Church.
Roman Catholic Church.
The Pope.
The Pope.
Islam.
Islam.
Christianity.
Christianity.
Egyptology.
Egyptology.
Religion.
Religion.
Ku Klux Klan.
Ku Klux Klan.
Aryan Nation.
Aryan Nation.
Skinheads.
Skinhead.
Positomatati.
Posse Comitatus.
The gay
The
movement.
gay movement.
The lesbian
The
movement.
lesbian movement.
Spies.
Spy.
Workers of witchcraft.
Workers of witchcraft.
NASA space program.
NASA Space Program.
Army.
Army.
Navy.
Navy.
Air Force.
Air Force.
Marine.
Marine.
Wall Street.
Wall Street.
Open up the internet.
Open up the internet.
And the airways.
And the airways.
The cable access channels.
Cable access channels.
And the radio
And
channel.
the radio channel.
Convict the spirit
Convict the spirit
of any of thy people.
of many of thy people.
And seek to stop
And
us.
seek to stop
And
us.
bring swift destruction.
Bring swift destruction.
To all the heathen.
For all the heathen.
That stand in the
That
way.
stand in the way.
Or try to stop
To
us.
try to stop us.
From broadcasting your word.
From broadcasting your word.
Throughout the planet Earth.
Throughout the planet Earth.
Let loose all the
Let
plagues.
loose all the plague.
Let loose all the
Let
plagues.
loose all the plague.
Cause them to go to and fro.
Cause them to go to and
Through
fro.
the earth.
Through the earth.
And consume them.
And consume them.
Let the plagues
Let the plague
shake the house of the thief
shake the house of the thief
and the murder.
and the murder.
Let your house
Let Yahweh Shah,
Michael and Gabriel
Michael and Gabriel,
come down with the flying saucer.
come down with the flying saucer
Punish all the
and
heathen.
punish all the heathen
And come up against
that
us
come up against us
as we speak thy word.
as we speak thy word.
Cause it to be known
Cause it to be known
by all
by all
that it is the angels
that is the angels
that have done it.
that have done it.
Cause it to be spread
Cause it to be spread
through the media
through the media,
throughout the whole world.
throughout the whole world.
Cause them to shake it
Cause them to shake it by coming.
in the name of Yahweh.
In the name of Yahweh Shah,
Thank you.
thank you. So be it.
So,
Sister Yeshua. Men of Israel, we're going to give one courtesy salute to the teacher. Men of Israel, Ayman Shabbat, Ayman, Barak, Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shabbat, Yahweh Matah, Saw, which means to turn. Sister Ahmad. Men of Israel, we're going to give one courtesy salute to the sister. Men of Israel, Ayman Shabbat, Ayman, Barak, Yahweh Shamar, Alathah, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah. Yahweh Matah, class is missed.